What screams I'm depressed? I break out in pimples, especially on loneliness. Not wanting to do anything. For me, I get really horny, like there's one call I wouldn't have ever considered. Someone screaming I'm depressed. The moment you wake up and know you slept, memory loss. So the cycle of not being motivated to do anything and then feeling guilty but still not doing anything. Feeling like you are never going to get out of the situation. Vicious anxiety, I guess, but those two are like saying I'm tired. It can mean that they are tired, but when I have tons of games on my PC, but I being altruistic and never getting some mood swings. A single lack of good hygiene. This can be as simple as just not putting as much effort into having good hygiene to not showering, brushing hair or teeth, etc. Change in styles. People who frequently articulate. Light sensitivity. Sudden change in behavior, even if it's not a bad change. I would be suspicious of a normally open person turning private, but would also worry if a normally introverted person is suddenly seeking out contact. Like me, on some days I'm breaking inside, just wanting to curl in a ball, cry, and then fall asleep. But I cover it up. I always laugh. I always smile. I do everything that I possibly can do to seem like I'm happy. I don't want anyone to worry about me. My best friend knows sometimes it kind of shows around her. My family thinks I'm happy. I've wanted to kill myself for a while, but I haven't, obviously, because I'm scared of disappointing people if I do it. There is one post on Facebook floating around that shows 4 pictures. One of them was Robin Williams and 3 other people, and the title was "Keep an eye out for your happy friends." Basically what I'm getting at is depressed people are always the happiest people, the people who have all the stories, the people that make everyone laugh. Meanwhile, every night they break down and want to end it all. Memory loss. There are out being super helpful / kind all the time. Lot of the time when someone seems to be more worried about you or spending way more time. When the person loses the ability to differentiate negative emotions, they simply don't act like if they were in anger and frustration, but they just stay with a sad look and don't know what to think about it. This is usually something that only people you know in a long time will see, but since this is not a very known sign, it's usually ignored. The anger. I don't know. Apathy, yes, the soul-crossing feelings of inadequacy and relating to most of these replies. FML. Overachievement in an attempt to compensate for having feelings they are uncomfortable with. Being overly happy. Going out of their way to make others comfortable. Not being comfortable with silence and having to fill every silent hole with conversation or music or something. It should be noted that melancholy and the occasional blues is not depression. Isolation. Apathy. Change. Not showing interest in things you used to like other mentioned, but also hopelessly throwing time and money into a random hobby in an effort to find happiness or something to do. An inability to listen to music without crying. You can't choose between loneliness and having someone around. 'Cause both are great. Zoning out by myself. Sleeping, not caring if you wake up the next day, going for days without interacting with friends, and just thinking they'd be fine without interacting with you. The hollowness. And every time you see them they've gained weight. I think it slowly causes other mental disabilities as well. I never noticed anything related to dyspraxia until I was told that I was super depressed and noticed that I was unusually and uncontrollably clumsy. Spontaneous crying. Mental health, and one day or some point in the same day you all of a sudden don't talk to anyone, you don't laugh at any jokes or whatever, you don't even look at people. You just sit there and, sometimes break out in tears out of nowhere, wish you are taking a dirt nap for the rest of eternity while everyone around you either doesn't care or never notices because they don't realize that you're basically on do not disturb mode. Sorry, that wasn't the best way of describing it. Gambling. Not talking about a trip to Vegas with friends, but specifically buying lotto tickets every week, playing slot machines for hours, and betting on horse races regularly. Sad music is 10 times more. Not keeping contact with your once close friends. I've personally lost couple of close Not a sign really, but the fact that while you're in its grip you're fully aware of how ridiculous it is. Like I'm fully aware that most people manage to get out of bed, shower and make food and eat it every day, and it's not even that hard because I do it too. But suddenly no goals at all, even thinking 1 week from now is such a struggle, long term. After eating, anger, depression, beard, your immune system, excessive tiredness. Oh, I'm fine. It's just that life is pointless and nothing matters and I'm always tired. Also, I can't sleep, I'm overeating and none of my old hobbies interest me. Andy, the more I read the comments of this thread the more stuff makes constantly looking at the clock. Not liking stuff they used to, don't like to come out of their room and not talking that much. I can't decide if loss of interest in things. Emo kids who literally scream I'm depressed at their parents. The frowning. When someone wears long sleeves no matter the temperature/weather, as this could mean they've been self-harming. It's not 100%, but if they're isolating themselves or seem different than usual, it's a pretty good indicator. Also, being overly happy and helping people a lot could show that someone is depressed, as they wouldn't want people to notice. If they act drastically different by themselves or when they are with a close friend, I'd say it could be an indicator. Me, but only when I'm sure nobody can hear me. Being too scared to say anything to anyone in case they one which might be more related to anxiety/stress than depression is you think you see things that aren't there. For example, you think you saw being sad. Any white girl, alright, so there's this new Billie Eilish song called Underscore and I freaking love it. Also any white girl, oh my god I'm so depressed. Any basic white girl. Psychiatrist told me people projecting the broad stroke comments voted to the top of depression threads onto themselves and self-fulfilling them as prophecy. Chronic physical devaluing your accomplishments. Or making yourself feel like they aren't as impressive. Life will go on without me. So why shouldn't I go on too? An inability to listen to music without crying. You can't choose between loneliness and having someone around. 'Cause both are great. It feels like life is meaningless. Heaviness in chest, that's all you can feel. You don't want to do anything, people become strangely cheer and seem fake. Like a void where your feelings once were. That thing where you don't notice a sound until it's gone except the sound is emotions. For some people, it's doing too many things. Drug addiction, snuggies and many cats. Being fine with not being fine, knowing your future. When your dog is the one you talk to the most. A liberal with TDS. Something I remember. Food consumption. Eating the same. Indecision and restless. Extreme happiness. I know for a fact at my low points I'm man, I just realized that someone yelling I'm depressed. Curling up in the small corner of your bed with tons. Isolation. I want to leave the house telling yourself you are. There is a TED talk by a monk. Waking up in dread for no particular reason. Get a hobby. Preferably outdoors. I live to fish. Buying Tinder gold. Dry hair, usually. Oddly enough, it doesn't, for me, feel sad or depressive. It's really more like an overwhelming feeling of absolute apathy. Nothing matters at all. Everything you like is boring, everything you hate isn't really that bad. I don't know if I will ever be happy eating cold ravi. I always grew up having a coping. I don't, I've just learned to live with them. They come, they go, sometimes it's bad, sometimes not so bad. This is life. Zoning out over and over again with no emotion on you. Excessive cannabis use that goes beyond casually smoking up in one's free time. Becoming blindingly focused on looking in a mirror and not recognizing yourself. That was / disconcerting to say the least. Like you were looking for a feeling you didn't get. Even just brushing your teeth is a challenge because what's the point? Same goes for showering and shaving. And then you are bored, restless, often a perverted and sick combo of stressed out of your mind / agitated and dead tired. But you can't really sleep, and sleeping is the only thing in your day you are looking forward to. So even then you manage to disappoint. Lack of personal hygiene. I tried to get of all. I relate to most of these. Sounds a little silly, but for me, I have a really positive outlook on life despite absolutely a wall of obstacles blocking me from I have a really positive outlook on life despite absolutely a wall of obstacles blocking me from